Hello everyone and welcome back to the SteemTrail Gaming news. Today is the 24th December 2017. My name is Kralizec and I will be your host for evening. As you can see, I'm still with my parents, so sorry again about equality. Hopefully that won't be much of a big deal today because we actually got three pretty interesting topics to talk about today. First, we're going to talk about God of War abandoning, most likely, the traditional mini-game at the start of the game that deals with sex. Then the fact that Star Trek Bridge Crew is now available without a VR headset. And last of all, biggest news of the day, the first confirmed death caused by virtual reality. But let's start with God of War. So, I'm pretty sure everybody knows this series. We're going to see a new game next year, and the ESRB rating is already out. And nobody will be surprised that we got an M as mature rating for blood, gore, intense violence, and strong language. But what is actually interesting, that there is no mention of sex on the ESRB rating. And it has been sort of a tradition of God of War that there was a little sex minigame at the beginning of the game, and because there is no rating about sex, there's a good chance that we will not see this minigame inside the game. This really makes me wonder, why exactly has this taken place? Do they want to sell to more kids? Because parents, especially in America, seem to be really concerned about their children seeing sex scenes, but don't really care if their children see somebody's head bashed in. Luckily, that's not really the case here in Europe, where parents still care even about those things, because I don't really think small children should see somebody's head being cut off or somebody's balls being just torn apart and smashed into pieces and fed to them. But yeah, for some fans of the series, this might seem a little like, why are they doing this? This is a game already not meant for children, and we know what sex looks like. Like, 12-year-olds these days know more about sex than their parents did, because internet, porn, the internet is for porn. There's even a fucking song about this. So why remove this? I really don't understand it. It just seems weird to me. My only guess is that they are actually afraid of the PC culture part of the internet that would pretty obviously be outraged by the fact that Kratos is taking a woman like an object, and yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. That's really just the only reason I can see this happening, the reason why this is happening. Otherwise, I just don't know. And if this actually is the reason, and if it is, the worst thing, we will never know. That's the thing, you know, because they won't come out and say, oh, we did this because we want to appease the PC crowd. No, it would be, oh, we just thought it wasn't appropriate anymore, and the series has grown out of its early days where sex was used to sell. No, sex isn't used to sell God of War. It's just a little thing you do at the start. It's just fun. You know? Sex is fun. Even when it's just virtual sex. It's not a thing you do to demean somebody. Or most of the time. Most people don't demean anybody with sex. They do it because they get enjoyment out of it, and their partner or partners gets enjoyment out of it. And that's good. So trying to remove it from the game just, again, seems like an appeasement of the PC crowd, and it makes me sort of sad. But the next piece of news actually makes me really happy, as the Star Trek Bridge Crew has been this week updated with a patch that removes the requirement of having a VR headset to play the game. I'm probably gonna buy this and try it without the VR headset. On top of it, it now also is capable of using some AR gear that is compatible with Windows. What's it called exactly? AR. Boom, boom, boom. I don't see it. I'm dumb and I forgot. Yeah, so if you're using the Microsoft compatible AR, for example, the HoloLenses, or there are a few other devices that are compatible with that standard, you can actually play Star Trek Bridge Crew, and that might be even cooler if you could like set up tables in a manner that they represent the Star Trek's bridge. You know, you just need a table where you can even like start to push things, and it would feel so real. And I just want to do this. I really, really, really want to do this. So I'm gonna buy this and probably bring you guys a review. So keep waiting for that. And our last piece of news, actually the biggest news today, so first confirmed that cost by virtual reality. I think nobody will be surprised that this happened in Russia, more specifically in Moscow, where a 44-year-old Moscow resident died after falling through a glass table while wearing a virtual reality headset. This was reported by the Russian news agency TASS. TASS, yeah, I said it right. So, pretty much what we know, he was sort of moving around his apartment with virtual reality glasses. He tripped and fallen into a glass table. Suffered some wounds because, you know, falling through glass, that's never a good thing. And he pretty much died because he lost a lot of blood. And that should be just a piece of, like, good advice to everybody. If you're going to play VR in your apartment, don't have fucking glass tables you can fall into there, or anything that you can easily trip over. And even then, ideally you want to actually just have an empty room where you got your VR, maybe your computer in the corner. Ideally you even want to just have the VR headset there, and all the cables will be just mounted to the wall, and the computer will ideally be in a completely another room. Maybe just like a monitor that is mounted to the wall. So you don't have anything to get hurt on. And actually that is probably one of the biggest problems with VR right now. The space requirements, if you want to play VR properly, are just insane. You pretty much have to dedicate a whole room to this, and not so many people will have the space available to actually do that. Not to mention the fact that you need a fairly powerful computer that's at the very least $2,000 if you want to play at decent quality. Then you need the headset, which is another $500, and the costs just keep coming. Not to mention, if you want to actually get the best virtual reality, that means you're playing with a computer on your backpack with batteries, and suddenly you're talking much more expensive stuff, at the very least few more $1,000s. And the fact that it won't last longer than a few hours charged. On top of that, you're actually wearing a PC on your back. That's some weight. And honestly, most people who would actually be into VR, let's be honest, they won't be that much athletic. Yeah, they just won't. Because we're gamers. We sit in front of our computer. I'm not athletic myself. I'm not like fat, you can probably see that, but I'm not fit either. I'm just a little chubby. I could honestly stand to lose a little bit of weight, but I still wouldn't want to wear a few pounds backpack on my back, you know, like 20 pounds, maybe even more in kilograms. So that would be at the very least a 5 kilogram, so that's actually more in pounds. Yeah, I think that would be at the very least, a 5 kilogram backpack. You can, even more if you want to get some decent lifetime out of your battery, so you could play like 4 or 5 hours and straight. No. And again, you can only use it for 4 or 5 hours a day. You can sit by the computer 24/7 if you want, and you have enough Red Bull. So yeah, VR is certainly having some problems now, but back to the topic, there wasn't really any reports of VR related deaths in the past, so this is the first. It's not really the fault of the VR, it's more fault of the guy because he played again within a room with a glass table. Who the fuck plays VR in a room with a glass table? That just seems silly. There isn't any like details on what kind of virtual reality headset was he using. Maybe when he was using something silly as Google Cardboard. It's certainly possible, although I doubt it. People who live in Moscow in their own apartment tend not to be really poor, so he could probably afford something a bit more out there. Still, just don't play VR with glass around you, or naked electric circuits, or spikes, or even a table. You can trip and fall on the edge of a table, smash your skull, and die. Those are all possibilities, and it won't really be the fault of the VR. It will be your fault because you're an idiot and you left sharp edges in the room where you were playing. It just seems ridiculous. So, with that being said, that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please consider giving us a thumbs up here on YouTube and subscribing to our channel. If you are watching this on Steemit.com, please consider upvoting our post and following our blog. And in both cases, give us a comment. We really want to know your opinion. And we will definitely reply to it in some manner and some time, because I'm lazy and don't sit at my computer all the time, especially when I'm visiting my parents. And with that, see you guys later with more gaming content.